Hey fam, Raif Derrazi here, and this is my first video of 2025. In fact, it's the first vlog that I've posted in at least 6 months, probably longer than that. I'm not sure exactly, to be honest. It's been a very long time since I've done a vlog style video. I have done very few videos of like HIV news or interviews, things like that. I think the most recent or the second recent video that I posted interview was from like I had filmed it a year prior. So I'm here, I'm talking about the latest, what's going on with me. A lot of you I know don't just follow my content for the HIV news and the information and the facts, but you also enjoy following my life. And frankly, I've been terrible at sharing that with you over the past year or so. And there's some very understandable reasons for that, which I will get into. And I just want to come on and start 2025 on the right note, moving in the right direction. Today is the 4th. It is Saturday, January 4th, 2025. And so some things that I will lightly cover in this video, some things maybe I'll go a little deeper, depending, we'll see. I was trying to script this to make it as, algorithmically beneficial as possible, but I just decided, what, I just need to let this be like some of my OG original videos where I just spoke what was on my mind and on my heart. And so one of the things that I'll point out that's probably you notice right away is that the background looks different. That's because it is. I have moved to a new location. I moved mid-November. So I was originally living downtown Los Angeles. Now I'm living what I guess you could call West Hollywood adjacent. It's technically Los Angeles City, but it's really right by West Hollywood. It's like literally maybe 1,000 feet from the border of West Hollywood, which, if you're not familiar, is a very LGBTQ plus friendly, inclusive, supportive part of LA. Probably the most inclusive and supportive part of LA for our community. And I'm here with Dookie. Dookie's on the bed. He had another surgery, which I'll get into. But the main reason why I moved is because I ended the long-term relationship with my now ex of almost 5 years. This happened in July, mid-year. But our lease was still going on until actually mid-December. And so I actually had it was a 2-bedroom apartment. One of the bedrooms was my office that I worked out of, and I needed some separation, some physical space. So I ended up sleeping in there for a number of months on the floor. I bought a little 4-inch mattress off of Amazon, and I slept in there to kind of create that separation. But I didn't actually move out until mid-November. Now you're wondering, I said the lease was up in mid-December. Why am I moving out in mid-November? Well, things were not healthy towards the tail end. And so I needed to leave that situation for my own health. And so that's what I did. And so now I'm living in this apartment here with Dookie, and it's just him and I. And I'm still getting everything together. Obviously I don't have any decorations or any background or art. There's nothing on the walls. It's all furniture and stuff, which is nice. I'm happy with the way it is. And because I don't have a 2-bedroom, this is my bedroom. And so you can see my bed here in the back. And then this is my little corner, which I made my office/recording studio. Now, aside from the fact of the breakup, on a more emotional level, it's actually been very hard. That's a mid-July, mid-year. That's about the same time that my content really took a nosedive. I mean, it was already slowing down a lot in the first half of 2024, but July is really when it just tapered off. I really have been struggling a lot with the breakup, but also with burnout from doing so much content. I mean, my followers within a year doubled. I think more than doubled, maybe. It went from like 20 something thousand to like 42,000 in the last year because of the content that I was doing. I mean, it was working. I was being consistent, and I was creating content that you guys liked, and that was, some of it was had some virality to it, so that helped. And that's great, but I was also working a full-time 40-hour-a-week job for my parents, and then I was also working for Plus Life, and then I was also doing my own content on the side. It's like, so I didn't have any time or energy for me outside of all that stuff. And I'm in a place where I kind of have to do that, because to a certain extent, because I can't live off of just my content, unfortunately, yet. Although it's grown so much in the past 3 years. It's grown. Don't get me wrong. I'm so grateful and appreciative of that. But it's not to the point where I can just only do that. So here we are, 2025. I am no longer working for my parents. That ended December 31st. And so now I've got some downtime where I don't have a job. I have some savings, so I'm going to live off that for hopefully only a few weeks. And I'm looking to go back to the restaurants now, bartending, serving. I swore that I was done with that when I left in 2019. But listen, it's kind of an ego thing for me to have to go back. But the reality is it can be extremely flexible as far as scheduling goes. You can make good money for the amount of hours that you're working. And it just makes sense. Like, why would I commit to something that's more like a salaried, full-time, traditional job when I can do something that's flexible? I can take shifts, I can leave shifts, and something like that, and then really get to invest my time and energy where I want to, which is with this content that I'm doing with you guys. So that's where that's at. So navigating the ending relationship, the burnout, the moving, the pressure of needing a new kind of survival job. I've really, especially in the last 3 months, I think I've gone off a bit of a cliff as far as mental health goes. I've been fairly depressed, and it might not appear that way if you were to have like a social interaction with me, because I'm still pretty outwardly stable, but inside I have so much anxiety, and yeah, a lot of anxiety. Like, I've been wanting to do content so bad. I want to do it. Like, I love doing it. In spite of my tears, it really makes me happy. I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I want it to grow, and I want to do more. But it's kind of like when I wanted to go back to the gym, when I gained so much weight over the pandemic, and it was like that hurdle of like starting back up again for some reason was so hard, and I got so much anxiety. And then eventually one day magically I went, and then I didn't go for a few days, and then I magically went again, and it like the momentum built. And that's the hard part, is that momentum. But once that momentum built, like now, like I love going to the gym. I'm going like 5-6 days at least a week now, every week. And I love it. You know, I can't wait, and I want to compete again, and I'm seeing my muscles grow, and the fat continuing to slowly go away. And that's how I feel about my content, is like this video has been like this weight, you know, like I want to do it, but it's been like getting over that hurdle to do it. Like, even just doing this specific video, like I've had many conversations with friends and people in my life saying, oh, I'm going to do my content tonight. Oh, I didn't do it last night because whatever happened, and I'm going to do it tonight. And then the next night, no, I didn't. I ended up doing it that night either because I wasn't feeling well and I had a headache. And then I had to take Duke, and he needed surgery and he was needy. And so I didn't do it that night either. And so like, even just in this past week, it's been like, I've been pushing it night after night after night after night after night, and I'm finally doing it now. So I'm sure it's not just going to be like off to the races right as soon as I do this video, like, bam, I'm back. HIV news videos every week, vlogs every week, interviews every week. It's not going to happen. I know that. I'm managing my expectations, but this is like really important that I'm starting on this. And you guys have asked me to do more vlog style content because I really kind of stepped away from that for a while and did more interviews and HIV news because I don't know if I didn't have a lot to say, or if maybe I just didn't value it as much as that type of content, or what. But anyway, I want to balance it out more and do more vlog style stuff and really show you my life and my journey. There's value in that. And now that I'm single, like, what better time as I'm like coping and managing my own feelings and emotions and rediscovering myself. I think there's some value and maybe entertainment value to like witnessing me like getting my groove back, essentially. So that's that. The reason why Duke had to go have surgery, some of you who were following my content last year, I shared that he had a mast cell tumor on his hind leg that he had to have removed, and that was like heart-wrenching for me because Duke's like my child. He is my child. I regularly think about his mortality and the fact that he's not going to be around forever, and I kiss him like every day on his face, on his mouth, on his nose, behind his ears, his neck, every day, like at least 100 times. I'm not exaggerating because I love him so much. He is my child. So he had this lump on his, I think, lower abdomen actually, that had grown quite a bit since last year. And I wasn't too worried about it because the vet at the time said that they did like a little test of it with a needle, they aspirated, and that the cells looked to be mostly fatty cells. So it looks like a lipoma, like a harmless, benign fatty cell tumor. However, Duke needed an extraction because he fractured a molar way in the back, probably chewing on some toy. And so since they were going to extract that tooth, I asked them if they would go ahead and remove the lipoma as well, because it was growing quite a bit. And afterwards, the vet said that they opened it up, but when he opened it up and pulled the skin back, he couldn't see the lipoma. All he could see was muscle tissue, which means that the lipoma is either in the muscle or below the muscle somewhere. And it was too risky, in his opinion, to continue the surgery and to try to remove the lipoma without knowing exactly where it is and how big it is. And there was a concern about potentially going too deep and puncturing maybe his lung cavity. So it's been recommended that I now take him to another facility where they can do a CT scan and have an actual surgeon perform surgery if it's necessary, if they see the CT scan and realize that it's something that's viable, I guess. So on Monday, I'm going to be calling and trying to set up an appointment for the CT scan. Now this, let me tell you, this stuff is expensive. It's so expensive. Luckily, I have dog insurance. And this is the direct result of a longtime friend of mine who years back posted online about her cat who had cancer and how they didn't have insurance and it was going to cost like $30,000 for the cat to get the treatment that it needed. And I was like, oh my God. When I got Duke, I was like, I am going to get insurance in case, God forbid, something like this happens. And sure enough, he had some cancer. It had good margins and they were able to remove it on his hind leg, but it was thousands of dollars without insurance. And fortunately, I have really good insurance where it's like a $250 deductible, and then they cover after that 90%. So I'm paying $250 plus 10% of the remaining, which is fantastic. This procedure alone was like, I think, over a couple grand without insurance. And then I can't imagine getting a CT scan and then having a surgeon go in and do all that, like what that would cost otherwise. So I'm really grateful that I have that insurance. But I don't know yet what's going to come of the CT scan, so I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted if I do my job right. And I'm just trying not to worry at this point. doing my best. So he's in his little like full body PJ. It has like little like cartoon boats on it. It's really cute. It's blue, and that's to protect his abdomen so he doesn't like try to lick it and whatnot. And I have a little inflatable donut that goes around his head instead of those inhumane cones. My weight journey. Okay, like I can talk about that a little bit. So I think a year ago I was hovering between like 194 and 196. Now, now my weight is hovering between 187 and 190. So that's a good improvement. I would say that I probably lost more fat than what it would seem going from those two weight ranges, because at the same time that I've lost fat, I'm also gaining muscle. So, I can definitely tell looking in the mirror, and I've done some posts too of my physique, how it's starting to like really like come together. But I obviously have a ways to go. My normal weight when I'm like healthy and I'm maybe like around 10% body fat, I'm around like 170, 175 pounds, I want to say. So I have another 15 pounds to go before I'm like normal. And then when I want to compete, then I got to knock off another 10, 15 pounds to be competition ready. So I'm no pressure on myself. I'm taking it easy. I've got some like meal prep stuff that I actually order because I won't do it for myself. And then it comes with some fresh pressed juices, and I do overnight oats is healthy in the morning, and I'm still taking my supplements. I know you guys want to know about my diet, my supplements, and my nutrition and my fitness. So those are all things that I can cover this year and I want to cover. And maybe I'll even take the camera into the gym at some point, show you some of my workouts. If I get comfortable enough, that gives me anxiety. I'm an introvert and I'm not like in the shape that I've always been in. But as people have reminded me, there is value in showing the transformation journey, not just the after, right? Tell me in the comments below, by the way, what things you would like to see. What is the one or two things that you're the most interested in me covering as far as like the vlog style content goes? Also, update, I'm still taking Dovato for HIV. I switched from Biktarvy to Dovato in 2023 around, I want to say the fall is when I made the switch. And the reason was primarily because I was suffering from a lot of gas and strange feeling in my gut. It just didn't feel right, and it was just getting worse over time. About a month after I switched from Biktarvy to Dovato, that seemed to subside, which is great. I still had a lot of gas throughout, I want to say most of 2024, if not like the first half, and then it petered down. And now my gas, I can't believe it. I mean, I still have gas. I've always had gas my whole life, so it's never going to go away completely. Like, and when I say I have gas, I say I have more gas than the average person. But it's nowhere near what it was. And I wonder if part of it is improving diet and getting back into the gym and starting to lose some fat, if that's getting my body and my microbiome back into a healthier place. I wonder if part of it is like the subconscious release of my relationship that was not serving me and it was kind of toxic for me. Maybe if that also has an impact on my GI tract, who knows? Or if it was solely switching to Dovato, which I highly doubt. I think it's highly likely that it's a confluence of multiple factors influencing me. But it has improved. Hallelujah. I almost forgot what it's like to feel this way. It feels so great. So I'm really happy about that. You've noticed if I haven't cut it out that I've had small burps throughout this vlog already, like 2 or 3 times. But that's nothing. Okay, before I forget, I have to say a major shout out to Dennis Nelson. Dennis, thank you so much for your Christmas surprise shout out, thank you, donation. That was so kind of you. I was not expecting that at all. And it was such a nice little surprise when I got the little pop-up notification on my phone. I meant to respond directly to you. I forgot. I apologize. I've just been a mess, honestly. But I so appreciated that. It was so sweet. And I think about that when I'm focusing on my content and doing this stuff. I'm like, That's so supportive and so nice. So thank you so much. And someone once recently said that I should call out and thank the people who donated without saying the dollar amounts. So I'm trying that. Dennis, if it offends you that I'm not saying the dollar amount, please let me know. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to just say people's names or say the names and the dollar amounts. Okay, let me know. HIV lab results. That's, I think, the last thing on my list. Most of it was fine. I had slightly elevated cholesterol, which was disheartening because I started working out again in 2023, actually. So it was a month and a half or a year and a half of working out and then getting these lab results. I was like, I'm sure all my labs are going to be improving. They're going to be great. And then they weren't. My cholesterol was up a bit. But my doctor said not to worry because the latest research is showing that cholesterol might not and probably isn't the best indicator for your risk of a cardiovascular event or cardiovascular disease. So they're actually looking at a whole host of different factors when it comes to that. And she said when they look at these other factors in summation, I'm at very, 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 very low risk of concerns related to heart disease or a cardiovascular event. So she said, you're great, you're fine. We'll keep monitoring the cholesterol, see how it goes. Me personally, as a personal goal, because it's just my ego, I want that number to go into the good range. So I really have been upping my cardio. I've been doing a lot of like high intensity cardio, which I know now because I got an Apple Watch, so I can actually see my heart rate. I've been wanting that for a long time to monitor my heart rate and to make sure I'm actually getting a good workout. Like, it feels like a hard workout, but am I actually really pushing myself that hard? So when I see my heart rate's up at like 175, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm pushing myself. This is good. And I'm able to track my calories throughout the day and throughout fitness workouts too. All right. I have blabbed on quite a bit. I know that was a lot. I want to continue this conversation. That this is just an icebreaker to get me started, to get me going. I always appreciate your supportive comments and your DMs and your telling me your stories and like the things that you are going through and how this content helps you or helps someone you know. It really fuels me and gives me the push to keep going. So I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for putting up with my inconsistency and kind of just falling off the map last year. I really want to stick it out and be there for you guys as much as for myself. So with that said, that's it for now. Stay tuned. If you're not a subscriber, I hope at this point, seeing a grown man cry, you have decided to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications for future videos. Please share this with anyone else who might find value in this type of content. And God willing, I'll see you soon. Cheers.